You ever meet someone who's always asking, but never giving, someone who makes everything about them every time? Let me be real with you. There are certain asks people make that seem small, but they're red flags, silent warnings. And if you ignore them long enough, they'll cost you your peace, your time, and even your identity. Let's talk about 5 things people ask for that should make you walk the other way fast. You know, one of the biggest wake-up calls in life is realizing that not everyone who wants your time deserves your time. And that's a hard truth, especially for those of us who were raised to be generous with our energy, always showing up, always giving the benefit of the doubt. But let me say this plainly, your time is not cheap. It's not disposable. And when someone consistently asks for your time without respecting it, they are not interested in you. They're interested in what you can do for them. It starts subtle. They text you late at night, knowing you've got a full day tomorrow. They show up with their problems over and over, expecting you to drop everything and listen. But they never ask how you're doing. They call you for favors, advice, errands, a shoulder to cry on. But the moment you need something, silence, crickets. That same energy you pour into them, you won't see a drop of it coming back. And here's the thing. When you're a giver, you don't always notice when someone's taking advantage. You're so used to showing up, so used to being dependable, that you start to normalize being drained. You start to confuse being needed with being valued. But those two things are not the same. Let me say that again. Being needed is not the same as being valued, because someone can need you without respecting you. They can need you for your energy, your compassion, your listening ear, but that doesn't mean they see you. That doesn't mean they care about how you're doing, how your heart is holding up, how your schedule is stretched to the limit. If the only time your phone rings is when someone wants something from you, you're not in a relationship, you're in a transaction, and you deserve better than that. Now, I want to talk to the people pleasers for a second. The fixers, the I've got it, no problem crowd. You're the ones who say yes even when you're tired, even when you're emotionally tapped out, even when your own world is crumbling. You say yes because you don't want to let anyone down. But listen to me, you are letting someone down, you're letting yourself down. Every time you put your own peace on hold to cater to someone who wouldn't do the same for you, you're betraying your own boundaries. And I know it feels selfish to say no, it feels cold, but boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are clarity. They're honesty. When you say, I can't talk right now, I need time for myself, that's not rejection, it's respect. Respect for your time, for your energy, for your mental health. The truth is, when someone asks for your time and doesn't value it, they're showing you who they are. They're showing you their priorities. People make time for what they care about. And if someone always finds time for their own needs, but never makes space for yours, that's not love. That's not friendship. That's convenience. And here's where it gets real. When you stop giving your time so freely, some people will get upset. They'll say, you've changed. They'll call you selfish, distant, dramatic. But let me tell you something. You are not here to be everyone's emotional dumping ground. You are not here to be the default support system for people who can't show up in return. You are allowed to protect your time like it's gold, because your time is your life. And you don't owe anyone unlimited access to your life. Not friends, not family, not coworkers, not partners. You don't owe explanations for taking care of yourself. You don't have to justify peace. You don't need permission to rest, to recharge, to be unavailable to people who never made themselves available to you. So the next time someone asks for your time, ask yourself, do they respect it? Do they understand that time is sacred? That energy is limited? That attention is a gift? Or are they just looking for another moment to make it about them? Because if it's the latter, the most loving thing you can do for them and for yourself is step back and don't apologize for that pause. Don't explain it away. The people who deserve you will never punish you for protecting your peace. That's the line you draw. Loyalty is one of those words that gets thrown around so easily, but rarely do people stop to think about what it actually means. It sounds beautiful, powerful, and it is. But here's the truth. Real loyalty is not something you hand out like candy. It's not something someone gets just because they asked nicely or because they've been in your life for a long time. Loyalty has to be earned. It has to be built brick by brick through trust, consistency, and shared values. And if someone is asking you for your loyalty before they've done the work to deserve it, that's a red flag you need to pay attention to. There are people who will expect your unwavering loyalty simply because they're close to you, because they have a title, family, friend, partner, boss. They expect you to take their side, to defend them, to stand behind them no matter what they do or how they treat you. And if you don't, they'll try to guilt you, shame you, push you into silence or submission. But here's what I've learned: when someone demands loyalty without accountability, they're not asking for a relationship. They're asking for control. Real loyalty doesn't require blind obedience. It doesn't ask you to betray yourself in the name of standing by someone else. True loyalty is mutual. It's based on respect, on honesty, on the understanding that both of you are willing to show up for each other, even when it's uncomfortable. It's not one-sided. It doesn't operate under fear or pressure or the need to keep the peace at the cost of your own integrity. And let me tell you, some of the most dangerous asks come wrapped in the language of loyalty. If you really care about me, you'll take my side. Don't tell anyone about this. It's between us. You owe me this after everything I've done for you. Those aren't signs of love. They're signs of emotional manipulation. Because someone who truly values you will never ask you to compromise who you are just to prove your loyalty to them. And I want you to really sit with that. Someone who genuinely cares about you will not put you in a position where loyalty to them requires disloyalty to yourself. You should never have to lie, shrink, or stay silent to keep someone comfortable. That's not loyalty, that's self-abandonment. A lot of us were taught to be loyal to a fault. Stay loyal to friends we outgrew, to family members who constantly disrespect us, to relationships that stopped being safe a long time ago. We were told that walking away makes you weak or ungrateful. But let me be clear, loyalty is not about endurance. It's not about how much you can take. It's about alignment. And when someone's actions consistently go against your values, your peace, your well-being, you do not owe them a front row seat in your life just because of history. That's the thing about earned loyalty. It's not based on length of time. It's based on depth of character. How do they treat you when no one's watching? How do they speak about you when you're not in the room? Are they loyal to air you? Because if they're not, then what exactly are you being loyal to? Some people want loyalty from you, but they don't want to reciprocate it. They want you to stand by them while they move shady, act inconsistent, and keep hurting you. They want your silence while they cross lines and expect you to clean up the mess. That's not a healthy bond. That's a one-sided agreement where you keep paying a cost that only benefits them. And here's the truth. You can still love someone and outgrow your loyalty to them. You can care deeply about a person and still decide that the relationship isn't built on the kind of mutual respect that deserves your continued investment. That doesn't make you cold. That makes you wise. So the next time someone asks you for your loyalty, don't just ask, how close are we? Ask, how consistent have they been? Have they shown up for me when I needed them? Far have they earned the trust that loyalty requires? Because loyalty, when given to the wrong person, will keep you stuck in cycles that drain your spirit and dim your light. And you weren't put here to shrink for anyone else's comfort. There is something sacred about opening up to someone, sharing your story, your truth, your struggles, letting someone see behind the curtain, the messy parts, the painful parts, the pieces of you you've worked so hard to protect. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's strength. It's brave. And yet there are people who will ask for that vulnerability, who will lean in like they care, only to use what you've shared as leverage, as gossip, or as ammunition later. That's why we need to be discerning about who we give access to the deeper parts of us. When someone asks for your secrets, your pain, your doubts, your raw emotions, but doesn't give you a safe space in return, what they're really doing is setting you up to be exposed, not supported. And that's a dangerous place to be, because intimacy is not just about what we share. It's about how what we share is handled. There are people who ask you to open up, but when you do, they flinch, they shift the conversation, they downplay what you're going through, or worse, they store it away, waiting for a time when it benefits them to bring it up. That's not safety. That's surveillance. That's not a friend. That's someone collecting your wounds like receipts. And here's the part that hurts. The people who do this often present themselves as trustworthy. They look the part. They say all the